many speakers have alluded to how God isn't the first. So it starts off with a prayer every day. We end with a prayer, we start with a prayer. And it's just to say, Lord, give me the strength to do right by this boy. Give me the strength to do right in executing the best version that you want for him.
So I'm supposed to interview Jacqui and ask her a few questions about being a mom to a son. I have two of my own sons, so maybe I understand some of the challenges that you're facing or some of the greatness that you're seeing raising a boy. But perhaps let's start by you telling us who you are.
Who am I? I'm a mother, a friend, a sister, a counselor, many, many hats that I wear, because I believe human beings are not one-dimensional. We are very deep. Some days I'm the one laughing in a room, the next day you're the one crying in a room, next day you're the one having a conversation and encouraging a friend, next day you're the one being encouraged. So I'm a lot of things, but my biggest pride is being Sunshine's mommy.
Sunshine?
Sunshine.
I know when he's watching this, do you agree that you're Sunshine? I'm just doing it for him because I know he's watching it somewhere. He's going to watch it somewhere. But perhaps just tell us a little bit about how that journey of being Sunshine's mom has been so far. Because we had a lot of youngsters that came here. They've got talents that they have. I also faced that problem when I was growing up, where the mother sees or she thinks she knows best. And they're at an age where they feel like now is the time for them to try and shape themselves. But how has that journey been as a mother to a son he's very headstrong, I know him, and is a very bold young man. How has that been so far?
The best adventure I've ever had. Every time I have a conversation with Adrian, Sunshine, he's the gift that keeps on giving. And through the journey, there are good days, tough days, then there are other days where you're just saying, I got up. This guy is fit. This is what we've achieved today. And then there's good days when, everything is working and it's all flowing. But the truth of the matter is that the journey is got its ups and downs. It's got its challenges, it's got its victories, and it also has its losses. And one of the things that I have, through the journey of raising a young man, I have learned is that I am not him, he is not me. However, the assignment God has given me is to produce the best version of Adrian under the sun. So in that journey, many speakers have alluded to how God isn't the first. So it starts off with a prayer every day. We end with a prayer, we start with a prayer. And it's just to say, Lord, give me the strength to do right by this boy. Give me the strength to do right in executing the best version that you want for him. So yes, I heard a young man complaining, yes, I want to be a musician, and my mother or my father is against me doing that. It's, as a parent, particularly a parent of a boy, boys tend to push back more than girls do. Adrian started off being an artist, you know this. He would draw. The teacher would call me and say, this boy, I'm thinking he's taking notes. He has half the book is drawings of Superman. This is grade 2. And the other half is a drawing of Ben 10. And first for me, the frustration was, but this child, this is the guy that's going to bring a lawyer into this family. How is he drawing? And I prayed about it, and I said, and the frustration, I would make him show me that he wasn't drawing first and cut out the drawing time. Then I realized something. He is not me, I am not him. The journey he has is different from my journey. At the minute, my assignment is to walk him until he becomes a man and stands alone. But I need to also acknowledge the fact that he's an individual. So we got to compromise. Papa, yes, you want to draw my boy. Mommy, I want a degree certificate on my wall. So what let's talk about it. What does that look like? Yeah, but then and I said, no, I'm not saying stop drawing. How do we compromise? And then it became yes, draw. But I want these types of passes for the end of the term. Come to the end of the term, I will take you to Peter Birch for the holidays, and you will draw. But I want my report card in a certain version. And that was the compromise. And grade 4, I think, grade 4 or 5, he won, an award for some drawing that he had. I went to the National Gallery and I was there going, yes, I'm his mom. But if I had made a decision, and it's not easy, and to the young men, at the end of the day, your parents are people. And guess what? We are learning as we go. Nobody gives you a textbook to say, be Adrian's mom, be so-and-so's mom, or be so-and-so's dad. We don't have a textbook. And there's no one there going, you can get guidance. And I'm blessed because, my mom, very involved in my son's life. And, she's a strong woman, very anchored. And she has been very pivotal in the character that has produced my boy. But we were both very clear that at the end of it, God and prayer, but a realization that this boy is an individual. And the journey is this holding hand rather than carrying him, because carrying would mean I'm making him whatever I want to be. It's not a puppet.
You raise a very interesting point there, Jacqui. Perhaps for the benefit of the young men that are here as well, and perhaps some parents who would like to maybe have this conversation with their children. It's never easy for them to be, I guess it's being vulnerable and actually sharing the truth that, look, I'm your parent, but I don't know everything about being a parent. I'm also learning being a parent as we are going. I've never been a parent to a teenager. I'm only starting now to be a parent to a teenager because of you. Perhaps you can just, take this moment to open up and have this conversation with these young men here on behalf of their mothers, on behalf of their dads. Just speak to them about that particular vulnerability that we have as parents that we never get to share, because we are parents at the end of the day. We need to look like parents, or we need to be in control. So let's use you to disarm the control and share if you can.
So yes, definitely not an easy conversation. And like I said, it's a journey, and it's a learn as you go. But I think there's a speaker that's also alluded to this, to say, while we're both learning, you, my son, me, your mom, or me, your parent. And at the end of the day, I think start from a fact of the parent has your best interest. I'm not doing this to do a torture session. It's not something that makes me happy. But if you see me execute a punishment or execute an instruction that takes away a certain privilege from you, I'm not doing it because this is the highlight of my day. I have to sit down at the end of the day and go, Lord, is this the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? But at the end of the day, my prayer is, this assignment that you've given me, may I produce the best version of a son that I've got. So it's a sit down with your parents and just a recognition. I know it's easy to lash out. We went through that with puberty. It was traumatic for me. It's easier to lash out and not understand that your parent at the end of the day is a person. They are someone's mother, but they are also a sister. They are someone's child. They are a person. So you must be able to also have a sit-down conversation with your parents, and especially when you're at this age group where you've got the opportunity of finding your purpose, having a conversation with yourself to say, what am I doing? Yes, I want to be a musician, but the truth of the matter is that not everyone is going to be a Burna Boy. And there must be a balance between you being a child and also understanding that I'm also human. So these conversations are not only triggered from a parent view. You, as my child, or as a son, you can come and approach and go, listen, Mom, you embarrassed me when you shouted at me in front of 7 of my friends. You made me feel small. Because sometimes, guess what? I will have had a bad day at the office. And then you do something that triggers me, I burst out at you. But I didn't realize the effect it had. So now you're sitting at home, you're in your room, you start having depressive thoughts. You start having this, she hates me, my parent doesn't care, and all that stuff. But it could be a simple, mama, yeah. No, you were so harsh with me. And the way you made me feel. Because you are lucky at this minute that we've got parents that are trying to do the best. Parents are genuinely want the best for you. So I think also let's meet each other. Yes, let's both step forward and have a conversation. There's nothing wrong with you starting the conversation with a parent for them to understand your point of view, especially when it comes to issues around what your passion is. If you have the conviction and you are true to yourself that yes, you are the next Nati O, come to me, have a compromise, because at the end of the day, there's things that you must achieve that your parents want. Education, education, education. That's the best gift any parent wants to give a child. So conviction, come to me. Yes, I want to be an artist or whatever it is that I want to do in terms of my passion point. However, I understand that there are things that I must achieve for you as well. So step forward.
So in the process of stepping forward, Jacqui, I'm sure as in this age group where we are becoming young adults, we're never sure of what we want. I played cricket. I was lucky, or I was blessed enough to go through the process and get a scholarship and everything else, which I failed school dismally, by the way, my O levels. it was bad. But I then recovered later on, in that process where you are trying to choose for yourself, how best can you also provide the support as a parent? In as much as I've come and I've said, okay, I think I want to be the next Nati O, but surely that path is very limited in its, in its nature. How do you support this young man or this young boy who's trying to find himself and he's not even sure if he's good enough for that particular path that he wants to choose?
I think at this young adult stage, you have the opportunity of trial and error. At this point, you can try anything. You try cricket. At some point, I was buying bats for cricket. Then Adrian O'Kappen was over cricket. Next thing, we were in rugby. Now we're buying boots. Next thing, we've decided we're going to be musicians. Now we're singing. So it's just I believe it's trying. Try it out. The support of the parent must be my child, okay, this term we're doing cricket. Sure, let's do cricket. Next term we're doing swimming. I think it must, as parents, we need to encourage the green field. We need to encourage the trial. Try it out and go through, experiment in terms of what you want to do for your purpose, in terms of what your journey is, because you've got opportunity right now.
But Jackie, let me interject there. How long is this period of trial? Because they're in Form 3, Form 4, up to A level. How much time do they actually have to make this choice? Should they be rushed or they can take their time?
So the reality on the ground is, Liwayo spoke to the rope. This much is your life, the rest of it is not. The time is limited. That's why you need to have that conversation with yourself and say, what conviction do I have with what I'm doing? Is it just a frivolous thing? Is it a passion point? Or is it the hot thing of the season? We're all now rappers. Yeah. Like I'll give an example. Right now, Adrian is into this trading thing. I said to him, sure, I don't understand it. Fair enough, I'm way too old to understand that. And I said, what is this? Is it a passion? What's going on? He said, no, I'm actually good at it. And I said, how good are you? He enrolled himself, free online lessons to do trading. He's got 3 certificates while at school to do trading. Because I said to him, how convinced are you to do this thing? Show me. He did it online over the holidays. And he's got his passes, and I said, okay, fair enough, now let's balance it out. How much time are you going to put to this? How much time are you going to put towards my degree? Because the wall is waiting, there's an open space there. And then we agreed, it must not be disruptive. And he has brought in the report card to prove to me it's not disruptive. And he genuinely has a passion for this thing, and I'm seeing the results. So it must be a balance between conviction, delivery, and also an alignment with the parent's vision. Because like I said, at the end of the day, best interest, your parents have got your best interest. Might not seem like it at the time, but guess what? Every decision is made with you in mind for the best result. So, balance.
Okay, so I'm trying to open you up as much as I can. And I also want to find out, as a single parent now, because perhaps there are boys that are being raised by single moms or single dads. How difficult is that journey for a parent who's faced with a young man who's perhaps going to blow out and be some big shot one day? And what are the challenges that you face as a single parent compared to when you have a partner and someone to talk to about it?
Okay, I think I'll start with that. Anyone being raised by a single parent, put up your hands. Or was raised by a single parent. I think we've got we've got a whole crew. I stand in a very privileged position because everything starts with the mother. And I believe the way of our execution of parenting is different from fathers. You know what I mean? And as a single parent to a boy, like I said, it's a totally different ballgame because some things I may not quite have the physiology of understanding. But I'm also very lucky to have a support system that is beyond Jackie. So the single is on paper. On paper, I'm a single parent because I don't have an immediate partner. But I've got such an extended support system that I don't feel the operational part of being a single parent. I've got Uncle Koti here, and I'll say, oh my gosh, this is what we're going through, like we went through puberty. And I'm going, what's going on with this boy? The room is always locked. He's moody. He walks around this house like a territorial tyrant, you know. But so speak to me as a man. What's going on with him? What am I missing? And also just an understanding that at the end of the day, I am a parent. The gender is not it becomes secondary to the task at hand, which is raising a young man to be the best version of himself he can ever be under the sun.
There has been talk, about men that are raised by women, we tend to be very emotional. Is there a guy who was raised by one? Apparently, we tend to be very emotional because we pick up from that, and But how best can you balance out an individual, and how best can they get that soft side, but also being a man out there? Because I was listening to Nati or saying, oh, you have to make a choice. You're a man now, and all that. And there's always that pressure that comes with that as a young man to say, you're now a man, go and lock the door or go and lock the gate, go and feed the dogs, go and do this. Those kind of, responsibilities that were given by our parents. But from your perspective as a mother to a boy, how does that work out, if you can just balance me?
Balance you, like I said, every day is a learning. Support system is one key thing. And we can never undermine the power of prayer, one. Secondly, and also just an understanding and a conversation about Father's Day in this household is not Father's Day. I went through a stage where Adrian would do Father's Day cards for me. So I would get a Mother's Day card and I would get a Father's Day card. And, we had a conversation about it. Now he's older and we can talk about it. And he was going, yeah, but, you do both. And I was like, yeah, but, am I tough enough on you? And then he reminded me of something that happened when he was in preschool. He had this bully that would just traumatize my child. Traumatize this boy. And he would get home and he would be in tears. I don't want to go to school. Why? That guy, mom again. Now he stole my pencil and he's got my pen. So first it was my feminine side. No, go and talk to him. I'm sure he's going through something. It's fine. It's going to be... No. Then one day, I said to him, Papa, this boy is relentless. You are going to be crying every day. You're going to be missing school. You're going to be just a sissy boy. What are we going to do about this? Right. My advice to you, see that boy going to the loo? Follow him. Give him a good kick on the leg. Just a and walk away. Go back to class. If I tell you they were best friends until they went to grade 2. It's you balancing the fact that, yes, there's a softer feminine side where sunshine, I will, soft side. But as a parent, I also appreciate the part that I've got a role to play. Like I said, the assignment is clear, best version. That's the assignment, yeah? So you've got to play up the tough love as well. And like I said, the support system is so that I'm not in a vacuum. I'm not raising this boy by myself, actually. I might be day-to-day in terms of the crate of eggs, the eggs that he consumes, but I have people that I can reference to. I can take him to Coach Taff and go, Coach Taff, we're in this space. I don't understand this space. My version of execution of how I deal with it is not working. Let's talk, help me. So it's being able to reach out and understand that our children are not raised by, we're not alone. You're not alone.
So it takes a village,
It takes a village. Yeah. We're a village, yeah.
So as we wrap up, Jacqui, but just there are two very critical things that are happening in this life of ours now with Gen Z, technology, and then there's the issue of drugs, substance abuse. What would you say about these two things as a parent as we wrap up this conversation?
So yes, definitely those two play a pivotal role in the kids that we're raising now. The access to phones means there's access to information, to a lot of stuff that is detrimental to how these kids, the future generation. So I think the role of a parent is also, to talk about these things. We mustn't make it seem like, I've got the phone. I know what's on the phone. So it's to talk to the child and have a conversation about, right, what are you accessing? And to see what's going on the phone. Because a lot of you, your screens are locked The password changes every 24 hours. Yeah, no, I see you. The password changes every 24 hours. And you think we don't know. We know. But I think what's important is the realization that it's here. It's to talk about it. It's to create relationships with the kids. That's why I'm saying the step forward is for the mother and also you as a child to step forward. Is to have those conversations that are about things. What's on social media? What are you seeing? The reality is there's porn, there's this, there's that. And it's here. And it's access to, you've all got access. So it's important to talk about these things and also to be able to open up to our children. As much as they must open up to us. That's who we're raising. And the second issue was around drugs. Very scary. Yes, we pray very hard against such things, but the reality is there's a lot of access to it. It's different from our generation where you'd have to, you wouldn't. You'd move mountains to get this access. Right now, a lot of you can walk into any liquor store and get a bottle of chapomba. Unlikely that anyone will ask you for your age. You're big boys, you're big-looking boys. You know what I mean? But it's like, again, the conversation of what do you want to do? What is your purpose? Is this aligned to your purpose? That which you are doing, whether it's on your phone or it's the access to the alcohol or whatever drug or whatever is going on in your space. I think it starts with, as many speakers have alluded to, a conversation with self. Reflect, look at yourself in the mirror, have a conversation. My guy, what do you want? What's the end goal? What is the end result that you're hoping for? And through that, then the effort towards getting that goal. So it starts with self. Self-conversation is important, and self-reflection, because that's, at the end of the day, self-supervision of what you do is up to you, sometimes with the locked doors especially.
I guess we just need to give a round of applause, guys, for braving it and coming out here. Like I said, it's just to open up and for you guys to understand also the perspective of the parent, what they think when they see you, how we speak to you at the end of the day, or how we treat you, is because sometimes we're trying to run away from our own mistakes that we made back then, and we don't want you to make them. And I think it's very critical for you to also understand your parents from that perspective. I think it's very, very important for you to put yourself in their shoes as you are growing up also, because you're going to be a parent tomorrow. And I hope not very soon, finish your studies first. And in terms of choosing your career, and just explore as much as you can now at this stage. Open yourself up. Use that phone for a better reason rather than, what she was talking about. Those are the very bad things. Try and develop yourself from that particular gadget and improve yourself. And open yourself up to whatever possibilities there may be out there. And I was very impressed to see these youngsters talking, to hear them talk, very eloquent young men. So as a person who advocates for Brand Zimbabwe, as a person who speaks the African story, and I'm happy that we're going to leave the baton to young men who are focused, young men who are eloquent, who are going to tell the world a better story about where we come from. That scary place that you said you come from, we also came from there, but we made it on the other side. And never ever get to miss it, like what Nati O said. Stay connected to it because it is who you are. Yeah? Just had to put my 2 cents there. But thank you so much, Jackie. We really appreciate you. And Emily, thank you very much for having us here today.
So for all those who are watching, we are once again sending love and light your way.